Hello, I'm Thomas, also known as Kabini. Some people also call me Beanie. Just out of curiosity, do you ever get those moments in your life when you start to have random, full conversations with yourself? No, I'm not talking about small cognitive conversing like, what shall I do today? What shall I have for dinner? Or can I go one day without the ceaseless agony of the demonic, disembodied voices telling me to do things to the ones that I love? Because those are the kind of things that everyone thinks about, right? When I refer to full conversations, I am of course talking about the complete and total brain blathering, the waffling on to oneself about random, useless, rubbish and niche topics, or the anxious overthinking that spirals within our heads, the things you feel you can only have with yourself. Because you feel like no one else will understand. Or they will just look at you like you just climbed out of a white padded room. Because let's face it, sometimes we feel like no one wants to hear more about what's going on inside our heads. Whether it's having full nerdy discussions, or our brain spiraling into anxious overthinking because we feel like we've made one mess up and we can't tell if we've made a minor fumble, or an apocalypse level event that will destroy everyone. So we go into mute mode and hide away because we don't want anyone to think we are weird, but when we are on our own, having a solo conversation and waving our hands around like we're talking to someone, then people want to come up and question us. The reason I bring this up is because this is the kind of thing that happens to me a lot. Getting trapped in my head for prolonged periods of time and overthinking. A lot. This is why I have decided it might be a fun and interesting idea to express these thoughts in my head by way of making fun, silly, goofy Machinima videos talking about them. Because it's a lot healthier to talk about them and express them and write them down in my own way, especially when the alternative is bottling it up until it gives me a headache because my mind is so overstuffed with random useless stuff. Whether it be silly stuff or negative thoughts. After all, there's always two sides to an overthinking mind. There is this side of the brain where you keep stored all of the random useless information that you've collected over the years, like quotes from your favorite TV shows, or a jingle from an advertisement that you haven't seen in 10 years. Hello, brain. How are you today? You want to know how I'm doing? Do you see this orb right here? This is your speech function. I've been trying to find a place for this for some time now. Problem is, everything is just thrown around in here. No organizing whatsoever. I have absolutely no idea where to start or what I'm even doing here. Isn't it kind of dangerous to keep your mind in such a state? This could cause a lot of damage. I'm sure it'll be fine. It hasn't caused me any damage so far. That I can remember anyway. Right. Beanie, half of what's in here doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes sense to me. Sometimes. It would probably make more sense if you didn't have full, random conversations with yourself and then forget whatever you were talking about moments later. Hey, what do you want from me? So I forget things. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I even forget my own name. Yeah, that's because whenever I have your name with me, I try to put it somewhere safe and then I turn around for one moment and boom, gone. Lost within the never-ending ether that is this junk pile of a mind. Yeah, well, that sounds like a you problem. Okay then, now that we are frick. Sorry, don't know what happened there. Now that we are done there, let's see the other room, with the other side of overthinking. Hello? Are you still there?
Hello, baby.
I'm, just here to check in. I won't be, here long.
Can I leave yet?
No. I want you to stay here, please.
But I want to come out. Why can't I?
Because you scare people. Me more than anyone else.
But you have no one else, baby. No one actually likes you, you know? They just talk to you because they have to. They don't like you. They all think you're weird and stupid and incompetent. You should stay away from them and live with me.
But I don't think I should stay away from people.
But you want to, though, don't you? You want to hide away from people and everything when you mess things up. And you always mess things up, don't you, Pete?
I don't really feel comfortable answering that question.
You know it's true. You're better off without them, and they are better off without you.
Okay. Right, well, I'm just gonna, go somewhere else. I try to stay away from that room. It's kind of difficult when the room doesn't want to stay away from me, though. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, the video. So, the whole reason for this series is just because I am predisposed to overthinking a lot. I don't know, maybe I'm just wired to be faulty by design. And I kinda just wanted to have this creative outlet for expressing these random thoughts in my head. Whether it be anxious thoughts or just discussing random conversations I have with myself. So I apologise in advance if the show is a little rough around the edges at the start, but I'm just not used to actually talking about what goes on in my head, and I'm also just terrible at explaining things in general. Which is a good reason for me doing this in the style of comedy sketches, so it can probably distract you from how socially awkward I am. So if you relate to this, or simply like the idea of watching a socially awkward dog waffle on about the weird and the nerdy and the stupid, you want to be friends? Also, you can watch the videos too. Anyway, like, subscribe, and do whatever the internet tells you to do when supporting a content creator these days, because I don't know, I'd be lying if I said I know how all this algorithm stuff works. Thank you for joining, and I sincerely hope you have a good day. Take care. Beanie out.